everybody. This is Danielle Leviston, and in today's video, I want to talk to you about how you can better manage your time if you have a startup or a side business and you also work a full time job. Okay, so again, I'm Danielle, and I am the owner of Painting and Poppin' Traveling Paint Parties LLC, which is a mobile paint party business. So I actually come out to your house or venue that you have rented, and I will teach a paint party for you and your guests. I'm located in the Chicago area, but I also do virtual parties. I have done a lot in the past. Um, I am almost in year 6 of my business. So I have a lot of experience with juggling and trying to learn different ways to manage my time. Okay. So we're going to get into the video. But before we move forward, I do want you to like this video and subscribe to my channel if you haven't yet. Also, please share this video with anyone who you think might benefit from it. Um, Anyone who has a side business, a startup, or a service based business, or a creative business, especially a creative business in which they service others or in which you service others. Okay. So let's get into it. So I have 5 different points today to talk about in this video. I'm sure there are more. I might do a part 2 at some point, but I did want to talk to you about some things that just popped up right away in my mind. Okay. So once again, if you own a small business, especially if you're trying to bring it to full time, you might be juggling a lot. Okay. The first thing on the list is use a planner and use more than one planner. Okay. Now, to be honest, I'm not doing the best right now with managing my time. Um, I had a little period where things kind of slowed down in my business, and usually that gives me some time to, do some other things and wrap up certain things. And now it seems like it might be starting to pick up now that winter is over and we're moving into spring. So I need to get back to using my planner. So let me tell you what I do. So first, I use my calendar on my phone. That helps me because I need alerts to pop up. That really helps me. I create an event in my phone if I need to do something on a specific day. And then what I'm starting to do now is also do tasks. Sometimes I only use tasks. So you kind of have to figure out what's better for you. I like tasks because I can see the little highlighted. I have a Google phone, so I can see the task. Like I'll have 3 tasks, and I can click on that and see what it is that I need to do. But I also encourage you to maybe use an event or create an event on your phone calendar as well. Now, when I was really busy and I kind of feel myself becoming busy, I would use like a calendar, and you could do a planner, but I feel like the boxes for each week really work for me. And then on the side, I would have an area where I could just like, write out different lists next to that week. So I just went on the internet and searched for, January calendar 2025, February 2025. And then I just stapled them all together, and I would write in, like when I was planning for my parties, let's say, let's say I had 2 parties in one month. I would plan out when I needed to work on the canvases, maybe Monday. And then for the next party, maybe on Thursday, create the image, right? And then that weekend, work on the portion cups for my paint. So like I would actually put in exactly what I need to do, like the process of each thing, so that by the time that event came up, I had things together. Okay. Now there are times where I wasn't as busy and it was okay for me not to use a planner. I just kind of put in my phone. But if you find yourself getting busy, that's a really good thing to do. And then I suggest you have it in your phone as well as the calendar, because you look at your phone all the time. And I'm a very busy person. So aside from my job, aside from my business, I'm also involved in different community organizations. So I'm active in my sorority, and I'm on a few committees. And then I am also um, the board of directors president had a local gallery out here. Shout out to Union Street Gallery. If you're in the Chicago Heights, Illinois area, make sure you make a visit. It's really awesome. Again, that's Union Street Gallery. You can look it up. I'll try to post the information in the description. um, but yeah, so like I am I'm pretty stretched. So using all those, those multiple ways to block out my time is very, very pertinent to me. Okay. Now, number two, and this might be a little backwards, I guess, especially if you do promotion on social media, but you do have to limit your social media time and your phone time overall. So I would say limit your phone and social media time if possible, as much as possible. Like for instance, right now I have some things to do, but I was like, I need to make a content. I'm starting, I'm really trying to get this YouTube channel um started from scratch, so I know I need to be consistent. Um, but like I don't like if I'm really trying to get things done, I cannot have my phone out all the time. And just like full transparency, when I'm working, I usually have my phone around. So this is actually something that I need to get better at. And then and of course you might have some important calls or texts, but normally unless someone calls you, you can hear it. But if somebody's texting you, then it's not really that important. So you can always get back to them later. Now, social media, unless you are actively posting and doing marketing, social media can typically wait. And even when you market, that should be planned out too. So I heard that pre-planning, like I don't really do. I used to do Facebook through the, I forgot what it's called, but through the business studio. But I need to get back to that. And Facebook, that's another, I don't even want to talk about Meta right now. But it's gonna take a while. Like if you're kind of against some of these interesting revisions in policy, I don't want to get into politics too much in this video. But if you're not cool with what Meta is doing in January 2025, I understand. But a lot of us have built our social media pages on Meta, and it's going to be very hard for us to kind of go backwards. Now, you can always build somewhere else, and this is why it's so important for us to um, start our YouTube channels, get our YouTube channels going so that we have another avenue of advertisement. Um, but yeah, so like anyway, going back to scheduling, you can actually schedule your content to go out. You can do that through Instagram and Facebook at the same time. I hear that when you do that, it doesn't get as many like views and likes, but it's still a good thing to do, and you can just do a one-off post every now and then. So, but really, really, really limit your like scrolling time, because you don't even realize you don't realize it at the time, but it's so easy to waste 35, 45 minutes or to an hour just scrolling and laughing at funny videos. And yes, a lot of us, especially if we're full-time employees and we have a business, especially if we have a stressful job and we have a business, we want to just kind of deactivate and look at mindless humor and look at what people are doing. But I'm telling you, it can really eat up your time. All right. Now, number three, and this is so a lot of these points are things that either I started or some even things I need to get better at. Some of them are things that I'm really good at. Okay. But we can always use improvement. So this is something that I am actually about to get better at. Choose or have a designated space where you can do your work. Now, for me, it's a little bit easier than most people for me to have a designated space where somebody's not going to bother me. I am the only one in my household. But that phone bothers me, so I will put that away, right? But I know some of you might have children and whatnot, and so you constantly have people, bothering you. So if you have a room in your house where you can kind of turn into a an office or a workplace station type of thing, a workstation or a studio. In my case, I would have a studio and like a desk for office space. Then do that. Um, I know you may not be able to. Like I actually use because I'm by myself. I can kind of do this out in the open without being bothered. But I am currently sharing like a little bit of my living room and my dining area. Like I'm looking at it right now. Right now, my dining area is kind of like my studio, and it's been bothering me for a while. So, because I want to take like I want a real dining area, um, and I want to be able to separate a lot of my work from what I got going on at home. So I recently actually the gallery in which I am a board member at, a studio space came up that was in my budget, and I was like, I think now's the time. I got a couple of bills going away and a couple bills going away in a couple months. So I'm like, okay, I think I can spare a little change on this particular studio. So hopefully soon, within the next couple of months, I'll be moving my things out. So now I'm a person where I like being at home because it's just convenient after a long day at work. I wanna come home. But what I'm thinking is for anything that I might need to work on during the week, I can just stop by the gallery, go to my studio, grab what I need. And then if they're bigger things and I have a little bit of time in between when I need to get them done, I could go to the gallery on a Saturday that I have open. We all get like, keys and stuff. So it's easy for me to just go and come in, and the building doesn't have to be open. So I can really just go on my own time. And it's getting warmer, so I'm not gonna feel like I want to hibernate. And then by the time it's winter again, I'll get used to kind of this routine. So, um, look into like churches if you are, whether or not you think about what you can do. Right? Some of us can't be away from home that long. Um, some of us may not be able to afford something else. But what I would do is look into different galleries, because there are galleries that are looking for studio artists to come and pay rent there. Like, I know we are. So if you're in the Chicago area, if you're in the suburbs and you need a gallery space, hit me up. Um, the other things you can do is you can look into like churches in the area. I worked with the organization in the past where they had their not meetings, but it was for students, like high school students, to come together and create art and do poetry and music. And so they had a designated space in the church, and then I think it was Saturday, they were able to all get together and do things. So I would look into local churches because they may be willing to give you a discounted price on space. So try to look into that if you really need a space and you can't afford like a traditional office. Okay. Now, number 4. This might be actually first, but number 4 is choose what's most important or prioritize. So, like, I have so many different ideas that I want to implement as a part of my business. I have things going on that I kind of already have as a part of the business, but I've had to let them kind of falter a little bit just because I can't do everything at once. Now I'm at the point where some of the other things I have going on, I have like events and things going on, and then my business is kind of like rolling along at the same time. So I really have to decide, okay, I'm going to put this towards my business, and then I can do this later on when these activities are done. I can put this towards this organization because I can be on a committee, I can do a little bit. I'm a leader of this organization, so I do need to be present. And then, notice how my job comes last, right? Notice how that I can do this in my job because, at this point in time, like there some certain things got to get prioritized. So it's really not in an order, but whatever you think is priority to you, make sure that you figure that out. So for instance, I have an Etsy shop and I sell paint kits to the Etsy shop. For the past couple years, I've had to kind of let that die down a little bit because last year was really busy with actual in-person paint parties. Now, what I should have done was pick it back up over the summer, and I didn't really do that. Um, yeah, so I have to get better with that. Like, because I'm a teacher, my summers can be a little lighter than usual. Now, I had paint parties, but I also like to use my summer to relax because once the school year starts, it's just like boom, I'm right back at it again. So, yeah. So I would definitely prioritize what's most important in your business at that time. What's the most lucrative route to go? So like in-person parties were actually generating more money and getting more have I was getting more interest in those than the actual paint kits. Now what I did do was if I had like a personal request or a custom request, I did paint kits or like canvases, but or created like pre-sketch canvases. But for the most part, I had to kind of let that part of my business go. So um, prioritize, but also just keep in mind what you would want to expand on in the future when you have more time. All right, now for the last point. So let me just recap. So point one was use a planner and or a calendar, and if possible, use multiple. Number two is limit your phone use and social media time when possible. Number three is have a dedicated workspace. All of these is like if it's possible when possible, but really you want to strive to do these things. Number four, choose what's important and prioritize your tasks. And then the final one for today, number five, is to complete your tasks in chunks or like time blocks. So I read once, I don't remember where I read it, or maybe it was a podcast or something I was watching, or it might have been, I think it was like a webinar or a call that one of my sorors had. I don't want to get it wrong, but we were talking about, managing time. And one point that was made was do things in 15-minute chunks. So, like, let's say you're trying to do some marketing and you're doing email marketing. Spend 15 minutes getting it together, like, actually typing it and coming up with the template and like actively working on it. And then take a break and then like do something for 5 minutes. That might be walking in place or going to get some water or checking an email, but only for 5 minutes and then go back. And maybe yours might have to be like 20 minutes and then have some time off. So, like, I'm kind of attention deficit sometimes, and I need to, like, I need to do like dance breaks and just break up the time. So, if you find yourself like unmotivated or finding yourself like your mind's kind of wandering or you're checking social media every 5 minutes, try to do things in chunks. So like I would take 20-25 minutes, do the task, get the thing done, and then reward yourself with like that 5 minutes, okay, of like watching a silly video or something like that, and then go back to it. Now, I'm also a person where I'm in the zone. So, I want to be in the zone. The other way that you can do things in chunks is trying not to uh, just do everything in one day or everything in one evening. So, like for instance, let's say you have something to do for work. Let's say you have something to do for your business, and let's say you have something to do, or let's say you want to work out because I am feeling like okay, I got to get my workout, keep my workout schedule going. I'm actually gonna work out from home today, so that I won't not work out today. But let's say you got to work out and you have to cook dinner. Don't try to do everything on their list for your business. Just do a couple things, and then for work, do one or two things. Again, prioritize. You know which ones those are. It might be one thing, and then the next day you can pick up on something. So, like for instance, I decided I'm gonna do, if I only do one video this week, this is gonna be the day. And then tomorrow I'll have time to work on something else. And then the next day I have time to work on something else. So don't try to do everything in one day. Another way to look at that from a business standpoint for me, so when I do paint parties, I'll have to prep the canvases. I will have to do the paint portion cups in advance. I'll have to do some images online or in Word or like Canva, kind of work out the image. I have to sometimes paint the image if it's not one I already did. So I might do the sketch for the image one day, then do the paint, start the painting the next day. Then the next day, I can work on the portion cups. Then the next day, I can work on the painting. So unless I have a whole Saturday just to spare, then and I don't want, like, you don't want to do it all that on a Saturday. So try to use your evenings wisely so you can chunk things throughout. That's why you don't want to be on social media all evening while you could be chunking things instead of waiting for a day on the weekend when you're not going to feel like doing everything, or you might have other things to do. Okay. So chunking is really important, whether it's like taking dance breaks in between and then working for 20-25 minutes, which I believe has been like scientifically proven. Like if you do things in like 15-20 minute chunks and then take breaks, it helps a lot. But also chunking tasks into, okay, well, I can do this day, I can do that day. Maybe I'll take a break one day and then move to the next. So again, this is for that busy person on the go. Now, what I want you all to do is to um, make sure that you look in the description so that you can look back at my prior videos. My last video, I talked about what I talked about last video. I don't even remember, y'all. Y'all gonna have to look. Y'all gonna have to go back and see what I talked about. Let me see. So, because what I'm saying connects with this, so I don't want you to miss what I am talking about in all of my content. So, let me see. Because this is really important. Oh, how to get your ideal client. So the past few videos I talked about, the last one I talked about how to get your ideal client. And then I also talked about what you do before you actually book your client. So make sure you go back in those videos and I want you to tell me what you think. I'm going to link them in the description. I'm also going to link Union Street Gallery website if possible. But I want you to also tell me what's some things, if you're a business owner, what are some things that you have found helpful for you to manage your time. So again, managing your time, if maybe you have two businesses and you're trying to manage your time amongst those two, or maybe you have several businesses. I want to get to the point where I have several independent businesses that I'm managing all together. I don't want to be a full-time employee working for somebody else for the rest of my life. So I'm trying to learn how to manage this time while I have it now before getting to that stage. So, but again, if you have like a 7:30 to 3 like me, or a 9 to 5 or whatever it might be, how do you manage your time? And then if you have questions about anything, if you think I missed something and you have questions, please let me know. Okay. Once again, like and subscribe. I think I covered it all. So let me know what topics you want me to cover next as well. I will see you all soon. Have a wonderful rest of your day.